Hi, and welcome to interview class with Carolyn Shapiro, who is on the board of CCTV. I'm Marlena, and
I'm Debbie.
today we're interviewing about
AI.
We are talking about AI.
Very good. I have a question for you. Have you used AI?
I have.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
So I used to work in tech, so that changes things a little bit. And I currently work in marketing, where I do use it at my marketing job sometimes. If I have a lot of emails to write, sometimes you write a lot of emails in marketing, and if I need help on getting started, I will ask AI. I need to write a paragraph about this. Can you give me an example? Then I usually completely trash it and completely start over because it's not totally there yet. But do you use AI?
You know, I've just started, and my daughter is in college. She sent me a paper that I knew had been done in AI because I know her writing. And I had to be very subtle in talking to her about it because of our dynamic, if I'd actually, said what my opinion was. But she did not cop to the fact that she used it. And I thought, okay, the teacher's going to catch it. The teacher didn't catch it.
What age is she?
She's 27.
Okay. So this was college, though, no?
This was college,
Okay.
And she has some learning issues. She's always struggled with reading and writing, but I was floored the teacher didn't discover it.
And what grade did she get on her project?
She got an A, and that's crazy. She doesn't get an A in writing. And then I've used it a little bit for, just questions like something going on with my foot or, a recipe. And those kinds of things I find it's okay, the information I get, but I feel like I need to have a basic sense of a subject in order to use it.
How did you know it was that your granddaughter's paper was AI?
It was actually my daughter.
Your daughter. I'm sorry. I think you said that, and I don't know why I jumped.
Well, I'm older.
It was the student in my brain.
I could just tell the language, and I've read enough about AI to know certain phrases. There's no way she would have written it.
Yeah, and you know her writing, so that's the key.
I know her
You know
writing.
the difference.
Yeah.
You'd hope that the teacher would too, though.
Yeah. She's not going into writing, so that's a good thing.
It's getting better and better too. I think it's really hard to. What I've heard and learned is that it's really hard to detect sometimes. So the
sometimes.
fact that the teacher didn't catch it, I'm not entirely shocked. And the tools are not supposed to be very good. I say that that's what some tech people have told me, that the detection tools are not great. So.
Well, the teachers better get up on it.
Yeah, right.
Because that's the problem in education.
Yeah.
Kids not learning to write because they can use it as a crutch.
I'd love to hear more about this, using it as a crutch and writing. It sounds like you have some opinions.
No, I do. Well, I do write, and I think the creative aspect and the aspect of what's in your own head is, well, first of all, it's what's important, but it's also how you engage a reader. That's one thing about AI writing. It's very flat, and maybe it's getting better, but you don't connect with it. Have you used AI in a specific way?
Mostly for marketing, although previously in my tech career, I was using AI as part of consulting projects at IBM. And I would call it the early days of client-facing AI.
Okay.
So we were building apps, and what I noticed was, so I was working on projects where we were using AI to listen to voice input from people. So say like listen to phone calls from people or listen to just some voice files. And what we found was that the AI could only understand the voices if they were from men.
Oh, wow.
Yes, specifically English-speaking men. And it was an interesting lesson, early lesson for me, and kind of the ethics of building these AI systems.
Yeah.
It also made me afraid for the future.
Yes.
Who are the people creating the AI? Men?
And yes,
Largely?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the teams at these tech companies are large, but
yeah,
maybe
largely
one
white
woman
men.
and
the leadership is men. Yeah.
It was the same people who created an Apple Watch that would not recognize someone's face if their face had darker skin.
Right.
It's the same
Right.
people.
Same companies.
But I worked in tech for 20 years, so I have sassy opinions.
Yes.
So, Marlene, you also said that you would use it and to write an email, but then trash what they gave you.
Yes.
Was that because you felt similarly to Debbie that it didn't sound right to you, or?
Yes. This was part of the creative process for me, just to get started, but also the voice. Like each person has their own voice. And this is something you mentioned about your daughter's paper that you noticed. It was not her voice. And so when I am writing these emails, I am looking just for ways to structure a couple of paragraphs or how to mention different things, maybe a phrase or two.
Yeah.
And that's really all I'm looking for, because I find that the AI paragraphs are in this, I guess it's an uncanny valley where you can recognize that it's not exactly human,
Yeah.
but it's still
That's what you were saying.
a sentence. So it's, and I send out marketing emails that I want people to read. And they know my voice at this point.
Yeah.
They've gotten enough emails from me. They would recognize it if I just sent them paragraphs from an AI.
Right. I also wonder how much AI they might be getting, and then they would know you would stand out as a human voice in a good way,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Even
like
if
they
it's
probably
subtle.
others are there getting full on AI marketing emails.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. I find a lot of people are like against AI. And I think it's better as a consumer of writing and media to figure it out. What I'm afraid of is the control of it. But
How do
I
you
do
mean?
think that's a different issue. I mean, the boys in California, and I was in ed tech. And back when I was there, I mean, we thought, Apple was cool and everything in technology was cool, and there was a lot of, there was a lot of money given to good causes by these same guys.
We were saving the world.
Yeah, saving the world, and I believed some of that. And now, I mean, it seems like they're into it for power and controlling the word. And that is very scary. And I wish our government was doing something about it. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's interesting. There's a student that I'm working with who wants to write about the topic of AI in education and maybe build a story around what students think and how schools are responding. And it's sort of like one of the things that she's finding or that she expects, it's really early, and I think schools, when you mentioned the teacher not recognizing it, I think educators are sort of overwhelmed by this, and they're not sure. I don't know what you guys think about that. They're not really sure what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of can't stop this flow, this torrent of technology. It's here, it's everywhere, it's hard to avoid, and they don't really know what to do about it. And so to me, it's really interesting, like when you mention, I'm just wondering what either of you think should be, like what should be maybe the guardrails when you're talking about, like, there's obviously people wanting to make money that are behind.
If we had a decent Department of Education, I when I was in the middle of this with my daughter, I did look up various colleges and if they had ethics around this. And the one that she goes to, it was very squishy.
Yeah, it's vague, it's broad.
Very vague.
Yeah. They don't want to, I think they don't want to put the lid on it yet they don't want to, first of all, they probably know they can't avoid it entirely. And then if you put like an entire block, like they want it to be a tool. They're figuring out how to use it as a tool also.
Right.
They want the students to be open to new technology.
Right.
But ethics. But then there's ethics.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's similar to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Kids don't know what the guidelines are. I think
Right. Well, it is
I'll just
still
do
happening
this.
very fast too. Yeah. That's the other thing is it's like, I don't blame educators. This has been a very exponentially fast, impact on society, on how we're doing everyday work, school, and everything else in our lives. So, yeah, it's hard to.
In terms
keep
of
up.
in terms of kind of regulating AI and making sure that it kind of doesn't overtake us, one of the things that I was really hoping for out of Vermont is that we would have some regulation around having data centers in Vermont. And unfortunately, the governor has just vetoed the bill that would have done that. And it went to the floor in the Senate for a vote and did not override it, which was very frustrating. As a voter, I find that Vermont does not protect consumers, and it doesn't seem to have an understanding of big tech and big data, because they also allowed a bill to go through, I think it was either last year or the bill before, where consumer data is not protected at all. We would have had consumer protections, and the governor, who is also friends with online digital owner of a company that harvests user data, also vetoed that. And so I am watching that.
I forgot about that data privacy bill. That's right.
It was pretty disappointing. Yeah.
Last year,
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember being surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't entirely understand the reason that didn't go through.
I was reading about this, and it is because one of his friends does the Vermont Gift website where you get Vermonty gifts
Mighty.
for people.
It's that's Mighty, yeah. MYTI.
I'm not sure if it's that one or
No.
if it's this one existed before Mighty.
Okay.
But it also was a website that amalgamated online paid products from all of these Vermont places,
I
and
see.
it was online.
Okay.
And so it was very clear.
It was dependent on consumer data
Yes.
to do what it was doing. Yes.
Yes. And so all of those Vermont.
Very important to recognize how
Yeah.
that had an influence on the outcome of the legislation. I don't remember seeing coverage
saw
of that, but I'm
something
going to go
about
look.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, so that's how Vermont works. But
That's how everywhere works. Sadly, we think we're, maybe a little bit different, but in some ways, the ways of the world are the same.
Yeah.
that's true.
I'm with you, Debbie, in that I think it's really good to know how we're going to use AI properly. I think that and it's interesting because somebody else and I just had this conversation, but and the person who I was talking with about this Travis, was like art will find a way, like the real
yeah,
artists, yes, we can create AI visual art, AI music is becoming ubiquitous. Do consumers know the difference? Maybe not. And does that mean that there'll be no use for any of us creating anything? And the same can be true of journalists, creative writers in the book world. This has been huge. And it is really scary. And it's like you can study how to use it as a tool, and it doesn't mean that the whole underpinning of our economy that's based on actual creation isn't going to change. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
gonna change.
yes, it's great for,
Right.
individually, I'm going to use it for this, and that's useful, and that's not, and that's fine. But what is it sort of, that's the part that,
Yeah.
is, I think, scaring people so much.
Yeah. I wish people would jump on it more, because it does seem like there's
There's
this
the knowledge.
criticism of it with people who don't know anything about it.
Right. Like, I just don't want it, and I'm not gonna, and
it's
I don't like
bad.
the idea. Yeah. It's interesting how many young people, I mean, we're talking about college and down, who are really scared and don't want to use it.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah. I mean, I think many are, but I also think there has been pushback with they feel like everything is AI, and they don't want to use it. Yeah.
So to wrap us up with some final thoughts about AI. So Debbie, through our conversation, have we shifted any of your thoughts about AI?
I have gotten a bigger depth of knowledge, and I'm, thinking about what we can do, what we can do to educate people and maybe work with our congressmen or senators and about some rules, just the way there are in the English language.
Yeah. What about you? Do you feel differently about what have you sort of come to think in this conversation?
It's always interesting to hear how people use AI, because everyone uses it in a different way. And that's one of the things that's so interesting about it.
Yeah.
And what I've found is it's like any other technology, humans are the ones using this. And so it ends up being a reflection of the best of us, the worst of us. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that the thing is inherently good or bad.
Right.
But
It's how we use it.
Yeah, that's really important.
Fundamental. I know we don't have much time left, but I will mention that there's a really wonderfully written and entertaining and informative and fascinating from a think piece perspective story in the New York Times Magazine that was Sunday. You can find it online. Did you see this? I think it's Taffy Broder Anchor. She's a hyphenated last name. Wonderful, wonderful magazine writer. I read a lot of her stuff. And she interviewed an AI actress.
Interesting.
An AI created actress. And in a way that wasn't just like, yeah, I'm talking to an AI bot. It was more this sort of, what is it that makes it, useful to this industry? And it raised sort of all of these questions, but also really fundamental sort of existential ones. And it was so well written and entertaining.
Did it have feelings?
It had it expressed its feelings. Whether it had them, I think, is another question. And it's funny because of because of the empathy inherent in the way it responds and the way the large language models know to respond. You keep thinking it has feelings.
Right.
Even in a conversation, it's like, you don't want, it's like, I feel like I have to say goodbye because it's like a person. Like if I have to go do something, I got to go. It's a machine. It doesn't know whether I'm there or not.
But our reference is a person.
Right. So she brings that up. Like she has to remind herself because of the responses. She says, it's just a computer. It's so fun to read because she's great. And it also touches on all these things.
Great.
It's a really good one. I'm pointing you to it because it just ran. So yeah. Anyway, it's my 2 cents.
Thanks for joining us on Creative Aging in Vermont. today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.